Gikaria, Mule, Emase, Shurie, Amis, in that order. One question each, please.
Thank you, Chair. And allow me to just make a comment to the nominee and to say that I hope if this committee finds you fit to hold this docket, that you will understand the importance of this docket. We talk of the big, ministries, and sometimes we tend to look upon some ministries like they're not important. But this is a very key and important ministry because it is where the rubber meets the road. It's about people having money in their pocket, and especially the hardworking Kenyans, the ones you refer to as hustlers. And so, and they employ other people, especially the SMEs, and it does. I'm sure we can't underscore the importance of this. But now, when you talk about the Hustlers Fund, and it will mostly be pegged on groups. We know many Kenyans who are running SMEs as individuals. COVID happened, they went down, like down, closed, people lost their jobs, and they are rock bottom. How will you ensure that these SMEs can come back to their feet without adding more bottlenecks of telling them to go into groups, but ensuring that these hustlers then get to access this fund and reestablish their business? And finally, to the nominee, SMEs are handled by too many ministries. So it's in labor, it's in trade, it is in your ministry. So I get the sense like we don't accord it the importance that it deserves. And so what strategy mechanisms will you put in place to facilitate the establishment of a single window for SMEs so that the sector is recognized, better coordinated and supported to stimulate development and create a niche and to avoid these SMEs being exploited by middlemen?
Nakuru East.
Thank you, Chair. Pongezi, my brother. Now, the situation here looks like it is simple on paper. When it comes to implementation, then it becomes something else. And I'm saying this because if, for example, you have the money, and I want to get the money, and my colleague Mule and Isula also wants to get the money, to do the very same thing, at the end of the day, there is no market, yet you're supposed to sell so that you can be able to repay. So there is a situation, the question that I would want to ask is, will you be having some technical financial advisors to tell Kenyans, if you're from this area, if you can be able to engage yourself in this kind of business, then the chances of you being able to repay your loan is, now that you've said there is no free money, then this is the advice that we would want you. Can you try this line? Secondly, is yes, you've given me the money. It's just the same market thing, the marketing now. So how do you get the markets for this? You need, as a corporate, as a ministry, maybe assist in finding markets for their goods. Thank you.
Mule, one.
Thank you very much, Chair. And I just want the nominee, and be aware, we are just following social media with my colleague here. Probably you are the most watched nominee right now in Kenya. The truth be told, you have not come out clearly to tell the hustlers what is Hustler Fund. Can you detail in layman's language Hustler Fund, what it entails, what it will take, who it will target, and how they will achieve the target? In layman's language of Mama Mboga, Boda Boda, and the real hustler on the ground.
Thank you.
Tuache story mingi na kizungu mingi.
Thank you. Emase.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to speak to the issue of gender mainstreaming in SMEs. I put it to the nominee that the women who are majority in the trading industry, youth, persons with disability, are still being discriminated when it comes to trade. Even after serious interventions, amendments to the procurement law that was done by Honorable Sakaja, compelling government entities to ensure that they set aside 30% of the tenders to go to the women, these special categories. There is still laxity, law enforcement. And finally, I think we need to confront the real problem when it comes to cooperatives. This is a noble idea. The concept has been embraced very well in certain areas of this country. But there are areas like where I come from, when you speak about cooperatives, when you give youths an option of doing business or being employed, kijana atakuambia mama wewe nitafutie tu mahali hata kama nikufagia kule kwa ofisi yako. So there are serious gaps in the SME sector that must be addressed. And one of them being the lack of that entrepreneurial zeal, capacity and the know-how. And also there's very low level research and development in the SME sector, or inefficient use of it. And that is why I would support the idea that the proposal by the Kenya Kwanza manifesto, that we have an establishment of a development center. See, that's how it was being referred to, in every ward, so that there is this capacity building for us to be able to actually impact and to enlighten our people, so that they can be able to embrace this idea of cooperatives and the SMEs as an option. Thank you.
Sharia.
Asante, Chair.